How is everybody doing, man? I'm doing good, man. Having a great day. Went to the gym, got some things took care of. Out here enjoying the sun. Today's topic, man, we talking about the Super Bowl halftime show. Will be headlined by Bad Bunny. And today, man, I want to bring a little something more lighthearted to the table. Have a discussion on how everybody feels about Mr. Bad Bunny being this year's Super Bowl headliner. Now, I'm not real familiar with Bad Bunny. I know the name. I probably know a song if I heard it. A lot of people are upset about this. There's a big uproar going on. Some people are for it. Some people are against it. I'll give my position here shortly. But if you're catching the playback, man, leave in the comments. I want you to leave in the comments how you feel about it. Tell us how you feel. Are you in support of Bad Bunny headlining this Super Bowl show, or are you against it? And let us know who you would like to see. You dig? Every year, without fail, when they announce the headliner for Super Bowl, a lot of people are very disappointed. Okay. Um, and after the performance, everybody has something to say, whether good or bad. And the reality is, man, you just can't please everybody. There's only one act pretty much that gets chosen every year. So you can't please the whole world and everybody's musical taste. We know Jay-Z is behind picking the performers. He has a heavy hand within the NFL structure when it comes to these performances. And I believe there's some sort of rhyme and reason behind what he's doing. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm sure there's some sort of uh, play behind it. We can only speculate why he picked Bad Bunny. But I would like to hear from other people, man. I want to talk about the psychological thing behind this too. A lot of people are upset, mostly Caucasian men are upset. I seen some brothers upset too. You know what I'm saying? There's some brothers that had something to say about this. But for the most part, man, you see MAGA, you see, a lot of Caucasian men are very upset. And I want to get into the psychology of this. And my opinion is a lot of people are very upset because this kind of damages, or this kind of like, it sticks a knife in the wound, okay? Because a lot of people feel like they're losing America. They're losing the American standard. They're losing the American way. And to throw a Latin artist on there is kind of like adding insult to injury. So a lot of people are desperate and scared. And hey, man, what's going on with our country? And why is this guy a part of this show? They couldn't find anybody better. I'm gonna give my opinion on how I feel about this whole thing in a second. Texas Bama, what it do? How you doing? Texas Bama asks, does he even speak English? Well, Bad Bunny just dropped a statement. It was like a video statement. And pretty much what Bad Bunny said was he's not going to do this thing in English. He's not going to speak in English. He is going to speak his native tongue. And he said the reason being is because of music, you should be able to vibe. I'm paraphrasing, but you should be able to vibe out to music no matter what language is in. He basically said they offered him this show, but they wanted him to speak English, and he did not accept. He said the only way he would accept the Super Bowl halftime show is if he was allowed to speak in his native tongue, or sing and sing in his native tongue. And he stood on business, and they said, okay, we'll let you do it. John Applegate said Bad Bunny is still an American. Puerto Rico is part of the United States. Now, well, is it part of the United States, or is it owned by the United States? I'm going to give my opinion here in a second. I don't want anybody to jump to conclusions. I'm not attacking Bad Bunny. Um, I'm just throwing the topic out there to the people. I want to hear how everybody feels about this. and I want to hear who they would like to see, or who do they think is worthy to be on that Super Bowl stage. Because every year this happens, man. Last year we had Kendrick Lamar, and that was a major uproar when Kendrick was announced to be the headliner. Kendrick performed at a previous Super Bowl with Dr. Dre. So some people felt like he shouldn't have been back up on that stage or whatever. I think Kendrick Lamar did a great job. I love the fact that he dissed Drake, you know what I'm saying, on the Super Bowl stage. It was hilarious. My family watched it. We all got a good kick out of it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, this year, man, Bad Bunny's on stage, man. Let me go ahead and give my opinion on this whole situation. When it comes to the Super Bowl performance halftime show, I could care less. All right, I'm just letting y'all know where I stand. I like to touch on hot topics. I don't care if Bad Bunny's performing. I don't care if Taylor Swift is performing. I just don't care, bruh. Um, if I want to see my favorite artist, if I want to see my favorite artist perform, I can either buy a ticket, right? I can buy a ticket to their concert, or I can just go look them up on TV. I don't really care, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand the uproar, why people get so upset. It's really an ownership thing. People feel like they own America, and they feel like they're entitled. It's such an entitlement with Americans, man. Very entitled. We feel like, hey man, no, that he can't perform. He doesn't speak English. I don't care, bro. I just don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Um, I will watch the Super Bowl, but the halftime entertainment, I don't care, man. You know what I mean? Let's get to some of these comments, man. I'm 700 said people make so many excuses. He shouldn't be doing it. Why should English speaking Americans be alienated? Well, the thing is, man, this is what it is, man. America is moving in a different direction. There are a lot of immigrants here, you know what I'm saying? And I guess I take it, and this is just coming from an objective perspective. I take it that they're catering to a lot of the immigrants. You know what I'm saying? They're catering to a lot of the Latin folks and things of that nature. I guess that's what they're doing. I can only imagine because, I mean, a lot of us don't really listen to that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it doesn't matter to me who is performing at the halftime show. Scott Graves says, I like to see someone like Dax at the Super Bowl. Who is Dax? I heard the name before. Zaza Runt says, the beat the original language out of black Africans in America. We would still have our own language if they didn't beat it out of us. They beat the original language out of black Africans in America. We would still have our own language. Okay, I see. Sugar Bum says, I think it's more about the political climate. Yeah, I agree. I think, low key, I feel like Jay-Z is kind of trolling, man. And this is my opinion. I feel like Jay-Z is kind of trolling. I feel like he is kind of like, you know, in the midst of all the political stuff going on, I feel like Jay-Z is just like, I'm gonna piss people off. I'm gonna make these people mad. You know what I'm saying? But then again, Bad Bunny is a very famous artist. He does a lot of great numbers. He sells out a lot of shows. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know his music personally. I don't care about it one way or another. You dig? Another interesting thing surrounding this topic is they said that Donald Trump will be deploying ICE. Donald Trump will be deploying ICE to the Super Bowl, and they will be in the building. ICE will be in the building, man, and they're gonna be snatching people up at the Super Bowl, dog. You dig? Now that's diabolical. The fact that he would announce that. Yeah, I mean, Trolls the God says you're probably the type that helped to destroy Babylon. I don't know what that means, sir. I am 700 says, and protest is stupid. I don't want to perform in the U.S. to protest ICE, yet he performs in front of the people who fund ICE. Yeah, let me tell you, man, the NFL The NFL is a racist organization. Let's just be real. And the NFL is a racist organization. We saw what they did with Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hit the like button for me, man. Please, if you don't mind. Um, John Applegate said Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, Utah, California, Nevada, all these, you just named a bunch of states, was Mexico before Americans got here. Yeah, well, from what I understand, they sold. Didn't they sell California and other states? They got compensated for that, didn't they? Um, Sugar Bum said, I don't listen to Bad Bunny and I hate football. I really stopped watching the NFL after what happened to Kaepernick. The only reason I watch it now is because my son. You know what I'm saying? My son, he enjoys football, so I like to, do some bonding with him every now and then. And then on Super Bowl Sunday, me and the family, we'll get together and we'll watch it. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I'm not a big NFL guy. You dig? Sugar Bump said, how's the NFL racist? Isn't it mostly black men? Well, Sugar Bump, come on, baby girl. Like, what the? You serious right now? Did you really just ask that question? But yeah, the players are black men. The players, okay? I like to liken the players to slaves. And listen, hear me out. They pick the biggest, strongest bucks. They'll put them on that chopping block, and they'll weigh them. They'll make their ass run. They got to do all kind of exercises. They got to do all kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is modern day slavery, in my opinion. And people will rebuttal and say shit like, well, what kind of slave gets millions of dollars? The type of slave that if they say something out of pocket, those millions of dollars will go away. So what good is having millions of dollars if you're not free? You don't have the same freedoms, right? You don't have the same freedoms when you're under NFL and NBA contract. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? That's why a lot of people are silent on important topics, because they'll get their whole career wrong. It'll be some little Caucasian girl that pop up and say, hey man, he did something to me 10 years ago. And they'll lock his ass up. Speaking of that, I want to touch on Diddy real quick. Speaking of systematic racism, I don't want to get too deep into that, but Diddy, man, are y'all aware of what they trying to do to Diddy? They are trying to give Diddy 11 fucking years. I Am 700 said, I take the millions. I would take the millions too, but what I'm trying to show you is that you're accepting those millions, but you're giving away some of your rights. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just pointing out the fact that that's not really fair. You know what I'm saying? So Diddy, so let's talk about Diddy real quick. As we all know, Diddy beat the RICO. You dig? Diddy should have been home. You see what I'm saying? People are asking, how is that racist? Listen. If you can, I want you to just think about this. Put yourself in Diddy's shoes, put your brother in Diddy's shoes, and think about this for a minute. Diddy is locked up right now because he purchased sex workers for him and his wife's or girlfriend's enjoyment. They want to give him 11 years for that. That's not cool, man. That's not cool. Jason McCall said, stop with the victim mentality. Listen, Jason. Cool, no problem. I just sat here and told you that they got a black man locked up, a billionaire, or let's just say 100 millionaire. They got him locked up. He offered a $50 million bond. The charge that he's found guilty of is purchasing sex workers. Damn near misdemeanor. You mean to tell me that's not racism? No problem. John Doe said, you get employed and give up certain rights in temporary. I don't know, you gotta type that again, homie. Anthony says, Diddy did nothing wrong to me. Yeah, listen. The whole case was racist. The whole case was, it was a setup. You understand? They should have never charged Diddy with any of this shit. If they were going to charge him, they should have charged him with beating his girlfriend. And that's something that we could prove. That's something that we know he did. We know Diddy was not the best person, but Diddy does not deserve to be locked up right now. You understand? I don't care. I'm talking about all feelings aside. See, the problem with most people is they can't be objective and take their personal emotions and feelings and hatred out of the equation and say, you know what, I'm an American. I'm an American, and I want to see every other American uh, be able to practice uh, law. You understand? Like, this is beyond law. There are lawyers out there that know that this whole shit is bullshit. That Diddy should have been home. You dig? John Doe said, was Epstein innocent? No, well, Epstein has, see, you can't compare Diddy to Epstein, okay? You can't compare. Epstein was brokering these things. Epstein he was trafficking, okay? Diddy was a trick. He was purchasing. Now, if you're gonna charge Diddy, you need to charge the escort service, okay? You need to charge the escort service. They would be the traffickers, right? Right. Um, Anthony said John Doe, Epstein ain't Diddy. Yeah. See, they try to equate Diddy and Epstein. That was like another play. That was like another play. Um, more racism. That's all. And I have no problem calling it out. You know what I'm saying? Because when Diddy was first arrested, they kept trying to compare him to Epstein for some strange reason. He didn't have any charges with kids. You understand? And yet and still, they still tried to make the comparison. But at the end of the day, man, Diddy is being railroaded, and I believe that he will get out. They're gonna give him some time, dog. They're gonna get Diddy at the very least. They're not gonna let him go with. He gonna have at least about 5 years on top of what he's already done, and that's sad. And no American should stand for that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, look, we know that he hit his girlfriend. We know he did some bad things, but that's not what he's on trial for. You understand? You got to charge people, sentence people, and convict people on the evidence and what they did, what they're charged for, not some shit they did in their past. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Tom Jackson said, "Communist buddy." What is bunny? What does that mean? Joshua said, Diddy didn't do anything. He shouldn't be in jail just for being freaky. Yeah, I agree. I agree. John Applegate said, did he would put the date, rape, drugging, or drink and rape loads? No, that's false. I don't know where you're getting your information from, my man. He was never charged with any of that. There was no kids in this case whatsoever. John Doe said Tupac's killer name drop that Diddy paid for the hit. Yeah, listen. Keefe D, the Tupac hit. Now I'm gonna give you my take on that whole situation, and I've done it before on my broadcast. You know, as far as Diddy paying for a hit to get Tupac and Suge up out of here, I believe that Diddy may have made that proposition. I believe Diddy may have made that proposition. And me being a major Tupac fan, I'm not 100% mad at that. You got to put yourself in Diddy's situation. Diddy was a mogul back in the 90s. Tupac and Suge, they was on his heads, man. They was on his heels. And they wouldn't leave him alone. You know what I'm saying? They was getting physical with his staff. They were making diss songs about him. They were threatening him. One of Diddy's security had already got unalived. So, you know, back in the 90s, man, like, this is what it was. So I believe Diddy actually did make the proposition, but I don't believe that's why Orlando Anderson smoked Tupac. I believe that incident at the MGM is what led to Tupac's death. I don't believe they're ever going to convict Puffy of that killing because Keefe D is not credible. Keefe D is just, he's a lie. He likes to lie. You know what I'm saying? So unless some other information or evidence pops up, I don't believe Diddy will ever be charged with Tupac's murder. You dig? John Doe said, so forcing a random child to move into his house for a year at 13 should be in. Hey, John, listen, man, we like to do like real talk over here. We don't do like rumors and like fake news. You know what I'm saying? What you're doing right now is you showing your ignorance. You know what I'm saying? We like to do real talk over here. You're way off. Okay? You're way off. Us, see, and so you're saying Usher's mother didn't take Usher over to Diddy's house? Is that what you're saying? Knock it off, bro. Not even Usher is saying this, okay? Usher's not even saying. No. Okay, I'm not even going to address you because you sound like the National Enquirer. Did you read that on the National Enquirer in the grocery store? Come on, man. Anyway, we'll keep it pushing. Niger Twin said that's why his name is John Doe. Yeah. I mean, listen, I get it. A lot of people rejoiced when Diddy got arrested. Okay? And then what did they say? What did they say around that time? They say, who's next? Jay-Z is next. I want to show y'all something. They were very happy when Diddy was arrested, and they wanted Jay-Z to be next. Why is that? Why did they want these successful black men to go down so bad that they'll actually believe anything? They'll actually take words out of context and flip them and, do all kind of acrobatics and formulate a narrative. And this is how rumors start. You dig? But I thought it was interesting, man, that when Jay-Z was accused of doing some things, people were very vocal about it. But when the charges got dropped, right? When those charges against Jay-Z, it wasn't even a charge, it was a civil case. When that civil case against Jay-Z got dropped, nobody said a word. Nobody posted about it. Nobody wanted to talk about it. And the reality is people believe what they want to believe. I'm a believer in that. We believe what we want to believe until we go do the research and the investigation to find out the facts. You dig? If I found any evidence that Diddy was messing with kids or anything like that, I would not be talking about Diddy on this live stream. But I don't believe that whatsoever. Nobody has confirmed that. Nobody has brought evidence forth. You dig? N said, yeah, everyone else is a liar, and Diddy never beat that woman in the hallway. We just talked about him beating Cassie. Of course he beat Cassie. All right. Matthew Henson said, just type Diddy Bieber Summer Camp. Oh, God. Listen, just because you see something on the internet does not make it real. I'm sad that I have to say that to the audience, but just because you see something on the internet does not make it real. You dig? That's why y'all think y'all know about the Illuminati and you know about Area 51. You think you know these things because somebody put it on the internet. Okay, but the reality is that shit is for entertainment. It's for views. You know what I'm saying? I learned that early. When I first came into YouTube, I went down those rabbit holes and I'm like, hold up, why would they have this on the internet if it's so top secret? Okay. Come on, man. But anyway, Bad Bunny, man. Bad Bunny. How do y'all feel about Bad Bunny? Piff 1000 said nobody is fact checking, just running their mouths. That's all they doing, man. And like I said, they want to believe this shit. You know, they don't want to talk about Trump possibly being on the Epstein list. That's one thing they won't talk about. You know what I'm saying? They won't see. They'll broadcast something about Diddy or Jay-Z. They'll make up fantasies and stories and fairy tales. But when it comes to Trump, they don't want to talk about this shit. You dig? All right, I'm gonna head to time some of y'all out. Jason McCall said, do you think Diddy and Meek Mill audio is real? No, I don't think it's real. I don't think that's real. At all. I don't think that's real. And the reason being is because you gotta understand, Meek Mill, man, like, he's not running into them situations. He didn't need to do all that. Like, what would Meek Mill need to do that for? He was already on. You understand? Meek Mill was already established. So it's not like he needed Diddy and he had to go do something strange for some change. Nah, Meek Mill was already established in the industry. Um, 640 said this BB dude said he wasn't performing in the U.S. because of Trump immigration laws. That was before he got the Super Bowl spot. Yeah, I remember. Um, he did say that, but I guess he had a change of heart. He had a change of heart. X Power said all these influencers they got on camera paying modeling agencies to fly out girls on the live streams. They are complicit of the same crimes. They only charge them when they slip up. Yeah. Listen, even take like the porn sites. Like they fly girls out all day, every day. Okay, they pay them to have sex every day for years. Like nobody got a Rico from that shit. Jules Jordan, okay. What's some of the other ones? Braziers, you dig? Blacked official. Are these people getting Ricos too? Because that's all Diddy did. You see what I'm saying? Michael Kenway said, imagine winning $60 million in the lottery tomorrow. What would be the first thing you would do with the money? First thing I'm doing, man, we going on vacation to figure out what businesses we opening, what new businesses we gonna open. That's the first thing I would do. We gonna hop on a plane and we're gonna go to an island somewhere and we're gonna formulate a plan of how we're gonna open new businesses. That's the first thing I would do. Piff said that would be crazy if they pay him to perform, then they lock his ass up. Listen, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if something major happened at this Super Bowl. You dig? Like ICE locking a bunch of people up. Trump will probably make a scene out there. You know what I'm saying? This shit is real nasty right now, man. It's very nasty stuff going on within America, man. Gary Gnu said, turn on some of that money in the high yield dividend accounts. Yeah. John Applegate said, Bad Bunny is an American citizen. He has a social security number. Y'all hit the like button for me, man. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Sonic Boom TV, what it do, man? Sonic Boom TV said, you don't get paid to perform at the Super Bowl. You actually pay. Yeah, that's what I heard. Bad Bunny, he put a statement out there. He said that he makes more money on tour than he would with the Super Bowl. You dig? Powerhouse said that's different because if they record it for entertainment purposes, porn, then the Mann Act doesn't apply. How doesn't it apply? If you're purchasing, I'm trying to figure out how it doesn't apply. What if Diddy was recording? You mean to tell me if Diddy was recording, he wouldn't be in a federal detention center right now? He probably was recording. Matter of fact, everybody was talking about these tapes. Everybody was talking about these tapes, right? Uh, 1000 said them Cubans had social security numbers where they at. They was paying taxes. How without a social security number? Gary said Super Bowl increases your money making through reintroduction and exposure. Yeah, let me tell you, man, Bad Bunny's numbers are gonna go. They went up yesterday. I mean, think about it. First thing a lot of people did was look up Bad Bunny's music to say, who the hell is Bad Bunny? What am I gonna be hearing at this Super Bowl this year? Little bit. What's going on? Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out, man, people know so much about the Diddy case, but y'all don't know shit about the Epstein files and Trump. Why is that? That's really peculiar. Peculiar. Very peculiar. Dash the Blaze. What up, man? Y'all hit that like button for me, man. Yesterday we had a guest, 83 Gators on here, man. And go check it out, man. We talked briefly. Uh, he was a troll a chat troll, and he came on the show yesterday, and he actually had some good stuff to say. Y'all go check that out as soon as you can, man. Very good stuff. You dig? Yeah, man. I just wanted to come on here and throw this topic out there to y'all. I've been going so hard on Charlie Kirk for the past 2 weeks. I thought I would come on here with something lighthearted, shift the focus a little bit. We will be back with more fuckery. We will be back with more uh, belt action, you know what I'm saying, ASAP. As the story develops, you dig? Piff 1000 said, seems the Republicans got a lot of undercover freaky Jasons. Platinum 14 said, top flight immigrants who get a work visa are issued a social security number so they can pay their taxes. Normally, if they lose their status, they still hold on to that number. Okay. Yeah, I was just reading what my man said. The hooligan said Charlie got rejected from West Point and blamed minorities. Sonic Boom said, it's like 83 Gators who energy changed once he got on live, man. This shit changed big time, didn't it? See, the thing is, I didn't remember what he said in the chat because so many people say so many things in the chat. So when he got on, I don't remember what he said. I just knew he disagreed with me. But when he got on, like, I wanted him to disagree. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a lot of disagreement. Lil Bit said BS. What's BS, Lil Bit? Betty said it's a perfect time for Bad Bunny. See, I think Al Mustafa, peace. I think that the powers that be, whoever picked Bad Bunny, I feel like they were low-key trolling. I feel like they were low-key trying to send a message. You understand? David C said, I disagree with some of the S you be saying. Like, what do you disagree with, David? Tell us what you disagree with, my man. Juanita Crenshaw said, why can't we get a person from here for the Super Bowl? Well, what do you mean here? I mean, Puerto Rico is a territory of America. And I don't care who performs. You know what I'm saying? That's my stance. I don't give a shit about a halftime show. And I don't understand why people really care that much. Because I can go see my favorite performer on YouTube if I really want to see it that much. So it doesn't matter to me one way or another. Piff said, I'm mixed, bro. I've lived this shit. I know what it is. Lil Bit said, Charlie Kirk, the lies or half truths are shit. Yeah. Yeah, we've been going hard, man. We've been going. Listen, I want everybody to know, man. Charlie Kirk is going to be a topic for at least the rest of the year. You know what I'm saying? It's not just me. This is what you're going to see on your timeline. And the reason why that is because, the MAGA people, they're really doing too much. And they're really pushing his death. And they're really making the most money off of it. I was looking at the convention, not the convention, at the memorial they did. I was checking out the memorial they did. And I'm like, dog, there's not any ounce of sorrow. I don't see any sort of grieving going on. It looked like a goddamn a Republican convention. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very strange. Nobody was really grieving, dude. You know what I'm saying? That should show you the level of deception that these people have. If I die and my funeral memorial looks like that, kick everybody out, man. Because they didn't really give a shit about me. That shit was weird, Texas Bama. It was, and I keep going back to watch clips because I've been studying I've been studying his speech. I think everybody needs to go back and study Stephen Miller's speech, okay? Because that was a declaration, all right? Lil Bit, he's a good man. Well, the thing is, we exposed the whole, he just wanted to have open convo, dialogue. That's a lot, okay? Charlie and the Charlie wannabes now, because there's a bunch of them popping up. They're popping up at black schools, and they want to have this quote unquote peaceful dialogue. And what I say to that is, if you really want to talk to somebody and debate somebody, go get some of the elders from the community, okay? Don't be a little bitch and go to the college where it's a bunch of 19-year-olds whose mothers still send them a stipend every month. You dig? I don't respect that. So this whole play of well, we just want to have open dialogue. No, you don't. You want to spread propaganda. You want to try to brainwash the youth. Okay, you want to try to rewrite history. That was his job. That was his job. Little bit said, honey, I disagree with you. We can agree. That's fine. That's fine. Look, find out what I already know. Little bit. If you really want to know the truth, right? If you really want to know the truth, you would do your research. You dig? Do your research, man. Don't just listen to what these people are telling you. Yeah, David C. said, go get the elder that are just going to cry victimhood like you. See, David C., he proved my point. This is what Charlie was scared of. Okay, he wouldn't sit across from a real worthy opponent because he know his little bullshit talking points would get debunked very quickly. You dig? Come on, man. Jason McCall said, bro, you sound racist. What did I say that's racist? I want you to put in the chat what I said that was racist. Ghana Abdullah said, Charlie Kirk said Malcolm X was good for black people and I'm an elder. Okay, but are you an elder scholar? And where are you from, Mr. Abdullah? Are you a foundational black American? Because you can pat Malcolm X on the back, but you denigrated our great leader, Martin Luther King. And that's just something we're not gonna let slide. We're not gonna let that fly, bro. After that, you get no respect. That man had no right. He had no authority, no type of anything to speak on MLK. And the thing is, he probably didn't know that he was being set up to go out like MLK because they need a white MLK. They're trying to make Charlie Kirk a white MLK, but they're having a major problem because while he was on Earth, a lot of things he said, he offended a lot of people. I believe Charlie was set up. I believe Trump. I believe the wife was behind it. This is my opinion. These are my views and opinions. This is my First Amendment right. You understand? Take it for what it's worth. This was all a play. You dig? So I don't care what sweet words he said about Malcolm. If you talk crazy about MLK, right? And now you got the rest of the world talking crazy about MLK, even niggas, even so-called black men that are with what he said and is rocking with him. Like he was very good at his job. He has whole adult black men on his team. Like he was good. I gotta give him that. He was very good, very cunning, very sly and deceptive. That's how the Indians lost their land. That's how the Africans sold those slaves, because they were enchanted. They were deceived, okay, by words and so-called truth, okay? Don't be one of them, my brother. Don't be one of them. You dig? Yeah, we not gonna have no MLK slander in my chat, man. You dig? Let's see, man. Britt said the fact that you say the N-word tell us all we need to know. That's fine. I'm allowed. I can do that. I can do that. Yeah, listen. We're not gonna listen. There's a small percentage of black people, okay, that are sympathetic to Charlie Kirk. Very small. A lot of them are not even foundational black Americans. A lot of them are immigrants from other countries. They're just happy to be here. You dig? They just happy to have paved roads and shit like that. And shout out to them. I'm not shout out to all my immigrants and everything, but we're different. Okay, we're the founders. We're the builders of this country. We built the country. We're the foundation. So we see things different from a different lens. You cannot get away with justifying Black Death. All Charlie Kirk justified Black Death every chance he could. Everybody that got killed by the police, Charlie Kirk was there to defend it and say, no, they deserve to die. You dig? Little Bit said, taking advantage of the Indians was wrong. Buying people for slavery was horrible. Government you can't trust. Yeah, not only did they buy, not only did they purchase, but the hundreds of years that people were enslaved, the things that took place were horrendous. You understand? So what Charlie did was minimize all that. He was like, nope, it's in the past. Don't worry about it. Why y'all ain't got y'all shit together? You know what I'm saying? And I can't respect that. George, shout out to you, homie. Y'all hit the like button for me, man. Out there said, who sold who into slavery? What difference does it make? What difference does it make? Really doesn't make a difference. See, the thing is, I'm gonna cut the Africans some slack because I give them a hard time about them selling some of our ancestors, but I'm gonna cut them some slack, right? When the colonizers showed up to Africa, they had no idea of what the fuck was about to happen to the people that they were selling. They had no idea of the evil, right? The horrible conditions. They didn't know. They weren't used to that level of degeneracy. They weren't moving like that. They moved on honor. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't recognize these dishonorable people. They didn't know that they had such horrible plans for the people that they sold. Because over in Africa and other countries, they had indentured servitude, where if you did something wrong, you know, or your people's owed some money, what they would do is, you gotta work, man. You're our indentured servant. You dig? But the shit that happened here on this land, that was totally different. And those Africans didn't know the atrocities that were taking place over in America. Well, the land that eventually became America after we built it. You dig? Little Bit said, yes, Black people took them and sold them also. Yeah, we already got that established. But like I said, they didn't know what they were selling their people into. You understand? They didn't know. So I got to cut them some slack. I believe those nations, those African nations, they should be accountable. You understand? But at the same time, we got to take in consideration, if you walk up to a nice group of people, right, that have never indulged in such low vibrational activities, they wasn't on that type time. They was on spirituality. They was on, you know, different things, man. Like they was living good in the sun and chilling. But when the colonizers pulled up, coming from the mountains of the Caucasus, and they was, you know, they was eating each other and killing each other and practicing all kind of just degeneracy. They didn't understand. You know what I mean? Yeah, foundational Black Americans built America. Yes, we did. Even Donald Trump said it. Donald Trump said Black Americans built this country. Go pull it up. H. Mills said fake ass Umar. Why I gotta be a fake ass Umar? Cause I got a beard? I gotta go check out the videos I did on Umar, man. I had to spank Umar, man. I had to get in his ass a couple times. You dig? But anyway, yeah, listen, David Tompkins says the Charlie Kirk worshippers lost one of their fellow Klansmen. Yeah, listen, man, I mean, you know, the reality is, if you want to know what Charlie Kirk was teaching, All you got to do is look at these comments in the chat. That's all you got to do. It's going to tell you everything you need to know about Charlie Kirk. You dig? The Exodus says that's a Democrat thing. There, Gary Gnu. Platinum said, Top Flight TV, you're currently clearing Umar. Easy claps. Shout out to you, homie. Applegate says, black is beautiful. Yes, it is. John Anderson said, a bunch of messed up people in this chat. Yeah, y'all that like button, man. Listen, y'all subscribe to the channel. Listen, we like to have open dialogue over here. Isn't that the new shit? Isn't that what y'all love to do, have open dialogue? Don't get mad at me, dog. Like, you got people with MAGA hats showing up on college campuses all over the country. They just had some MAGA dudes show up to the University of Maryland with their little table and their MAGA hats and their talking points just to gaslight. Now, when they go to one of these schools and them young brothers and sisters go upside their head and get to stomping their ass out, then they're gonna say, oh, I got black fatigue. Oh, what's wrong with these people? But they're antagonizing us at this point. These people, they are on our nutsack so bad, okay? They are on our nutsack so bad they gotta go to our schools to try to get across these little weak ass talking points. All they gotta do is pick up a phone, call one of our scholars, have a real debate, and get they clock clean, man. They don't want to do that though, because they know they'll lose all credibility. Speaking of Umar, I said this the other day. Charlie Kirk, he wouldn't have got past Dr. Umar Johnson. Dr. Umar Johnson would have spanked Charlie Kirk. You dig? Never. NVM said the reason why you're 40 sitting on a stoop. I'm on my fucking porch, my man. I'm on my porch. H. Mills, calm down, tough guy. Calm down. David C. said, you agree with violence because you can't use words. No. Listen, David C., listen. The reason why I said that, because they have no business at these colleges. These kids are trying to school. They're trying to learn, man. Y'all say that we ain't shit. Y'all say that we out here killing. Y'all say that we out here selling drugs. These kids are simply trying to go get a goddamn education. And here comes Todd and Kyle. They wanna debate somebody and spew these racist talking points at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then y'all wanna act like you're the victim. Okay? No. Let them people go to school and make something of themselves. You dig? So we don't have to hear your mouth trying to make it seem like we ain't shit. David C. said, you sound stupid. Any one of your scholars could approach Charlie, but they didn't. Listen, all of the scholars that I listened to looked at Charlie like a joke. This is just real talk, man. Nobody that I listen to respect Charlie Kirk. It's really light work, man. It impressed y'all. Y'all were impressed by bullshit. You fell for that. You drank the Kool-Aid. Nobody's impressed by Charlie Kirk, man, except y'all. That shit wasn't like that. Those basic talking points, he's been caught in so many lies. You dig? Lunchbox, what it do? Y'all hit the like button for me. Charlie wasn't nothing special, dog. Wasn't nothing special. Chester Bean said, what lies? I'll wait. All right, I'm gonna tell you a lie right now. First lie is the transgender mice. That's the first lie. And he got called out. Bill Maher called him out live on TV. Made Charlie like a fool. You understand? Like, he would say things without actually doing the research. Go look up Bill Maher calls out Charlie Kirk. Go check it out. The second lie was Trayvon Martin. He said Trayvon Martin hunted George Zimmerman. That was another lie. A Maytheist, shout out to you. John Anderson, said half the country agreed with Charlie. Let me tell you something. Half the country didn't know who Charlie Kirk was until they turned this TV off. You did? That's what I'm starting to realize. Most of the country, most of the people defending him, especially a lot of y'all in the chat, y'all didn't know about no damn Charlie Kirk like that, dog. Y'all wasn't really worried about him until he got unalived. You did? Gary Gnu said most of Charlie's talking points were trolling points. He was a troll, y'all. Only these idiots took this. Oh my God, Charlie, he's talking about family. He's talking about raising kids. He's talking about so many good things. He's talking about black people. Oh my goodness, yeah, black people do so much crime. And he was a troll. And y'all was too ignorant to see that. Chester Bean said, bruh, cut that fake pro-black ish out. Listen, if you're not, you must not be familiar with my channel. I say it all the time. This is not a pro-black channel, okay? All right, now what? Now what are you going to say? That didn't work, okay? I guess you thought that was going to hit. It did not hit whatsoever. This is not a pro-black channel. This is a pro-justice channel. You understand? Real Westman said, debate me. I don't want to debate you. I'll have a discussion with you. Listen, Wes, any of y'all, anybody in the chat, if anybody wants to have a discussion with me, I want you to leave your email, leave it in the chat, and I'll bring you on. And we can do something tomorrow. Or, what's today, Thursday? We can do something tomorrow. I'll bring you on tomorrow, and we can have a real discussion, okay? I'm not a scholar. I don't want to debate. I don't, debate, you got to have sources, things of that nature. I'm not prepared for that right now. When I get my office together, we can do something like that. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I'd rather have a discussion, a common sense discussion. Um, 83 Gator said, what do you think about the Bad Bunny situation? Yeah, I just spoke on that. 83 Gators, I said, man, I don't care who performs it. It's not a big deal to me. I don't care. I just don't, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? If I want to see anybody that I like, I can turn on YouTube and go check them out. You know what I'm saying? Xavier McLeod said Charlie Kirk took plays from David Duke's book. Yeah, Charlie Kirk was not a grassroots person. He was funded from the top. You understand? They try to make it seem like he was grassroots of the people. No, it was a setup. It was a project. You understand? Lunchbox says they didn't bitch about the Rolling Stones who are not Americans. U2, Rolling Stones, it's a long list of non-Americans that perform. But again, I don't care. I just wanted to open it up and let everybody tell how they feel about shit, because it's a hot topic. 83 Gator said, why not talk about something other than Charlie Kirk? Well, the reason why, I just said it, you must have just joined. The reason why we talking about Charlie Kirk, man, is because we're going to talk about Charlie Kirk for a long time. And one reason being is because the media keeps talking about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's disciples keep talking about Charlie Kirk. And it is a really big learning lesson. It is a big deal. Charlie Kirk's death was a big deal. What they're doing after Charlie Kirk's death is very important. The rhetoric that he spewed is being repeated all day, every day. So we gotta cut the head off the snake. We gotta keep referring back to Charlie Kirk. So everybody that has been getting his talking points, we can debate and debunk those talking points. That's why we're gonna keep talking about them. Oh yeah, a little bit said, sorry, I think I brought up Charlie Kirk. I know somebody brought him up. But 83 Gators, I want to show you something though. I want you to look at the lesson in this. All I gotta do is disagree with Charlie Kirk, and then my chat will go crazy. You will see people get disrespectful. So I want to show you. I want to prove a point. You dig? This is a point that needs to be proven. Charlie Kirk was supposed to be about the First Amendment, views and opinions. But as soon as I give mine, you see my chat. You dig? Tavo Biltmore said, come on, y'all. The tide is high for the U.S. to get involved in the local chapter of Turning Point ASAP. All right. John Anderson said he was murdered for opposing views. John, nobody knows why he was murdered. Nobody knows for a fact except the people that were behind this. You dig? I don't buy the Tyler situation. I don't buy that for a minute. I don't believe Tyler did it, or I don't believe he acted alone. You dig? But nobody knows why they took him out. I have my opinion, and I told you, my opinion is they want to make him the white Martin Luther King. Caucasian white people need a martyr. They don't have any martyrs. Y'all know that? Name one martyr, dog, in white society that they could be proud of and say, hey, this is our guy. He did this, this, and this. Name one. Patrick said, we need you to report to your local police station. Duck Naka said, black people need to stop talking about Kirk. We got nothing to do with that. We need to stay in our lane. That's white people shit. No, it actually isn't, my brother. If you think that, I want you to go listen to Stephen Miller's speech at the memorial. You're sadly mistaken if you think that this has nothing to do with us. I agree to the fact that, yes, white folks are crashing out on each other. I agree with that. And we don't need to touch that. We don't need to get in the middle of that. The left and the right, they're crashing out. Like literally, crashing trucks into churches. That's none of our business. You dig? But as far as this agenda that they are putting into place, as far as these talking points that need to be debunked, that has everything to do with us. Because Mr. Kirk has built a career off of denigrating black men and women, putting us in a box, and pushing a narrative and propaganda. And we gotta unravel that shit. You know what I'm saying? Sonic Boom TV said Morgan State and Towson University had bomb threats again. Right. See, the niggas is talking about it got nothing to do with us. HBCUs have been getting threats. You dig? The day after Charlie Kirk, you know, they found two people hanging from trees. HBCUs were on lockdown. You dig? Out there says he doesn't know, has to set up an office before he can study history. Yeah, just in good racist fashion, you just twisted my words, bro. Okay? When you debate somebody, you should be able to pull up a source and show that source on screen. You dig? Right? That's why I said I can debate when I get my office set up. So we can pull stuff up on screen and show and prove. You understand? DL4040 said, made 40 million of his hate speech grift. Yeah, they caked up. They caked up. Wyatt Smith, what it do? Y'all hit the like button, man. David C said, if his rhetoric is supposedly bad, your pro-black bullshit is just as bad. I just told you this is not a pro-black channel. Oh, the mean, bad white man. Get it off and stop talking ish. Y'all so damn corny, man. I swear to God. This guy, NVM, keeps saying I'm sitting on a stoop. What is it with you in this stoop, bro? Why are you so mad at my steps? XX James said, don't forget that you just told us that if we even try to give the ideas he had, then you're gonna sleep me. What? That- Man, y'all are some devious devils. Who said that shit, bruh? Who, who said that shit? Y'all just be making shit up, bruh. Try and get people reported and y'all crazy, man. C Black said, I pray it doesn't make an example of the indifference. Mark Easter said, dude, you have never listened to Carl. Oh, God, Jesus Christ. Come on, cuz. Y'all gotta step it up, man. Y'all gotta step y'all game up. Johnny said, Charlie was at war with the Grubers. You mean the Gropers? Out there said, you're talking separation over and over. That's devious and devilish. When did I talk about separation? Somebody tell me when I talked about separation. No, see, you get in your feelings when I call out racism. Y'all don't like that shit. I get it. It really does something to you. You dig? Y'all don't like it. Y'all would rather, if I was sitting here talking about crime stats and black folks and single black mothers, y'all would have a field day. Y'all would love this shit. If I was on this YouTube right now talking bad about black people, y'all would love this channel. Like the Tommy Sotomayor's, the twins, what's the twins' names? The Myron Gaines, little weird people like that. Y'all love to sit around and listen to people with a black face talk about black people. But when it's the other way around and we're sitting here talking about justice and we're talking about fairness and we're calling out racism, you can't seem to handle that. You dig? Yeah, the Hodge twins, those coons. Yeah, it's a bunch of people out here trying to get rich off of denigrating their own people. And I did a broadcast about that the other day, so I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but nobody respects those people. You know what I'm saying? They're outcasts. They Yeah. 83 Gator said, I love the Hodge twins. I'm sure you do, bro. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Let me ask y'all this though. Why don't you guys listen to people who are calling out the white supremacist groups? Why aren't y'all concerned with that? This is my question. Why aren't you guys concerned with that? The Hodge twins, Myron Gaines, Charlie Kirk, Nick Fuentes, they don't call out white supremacist gangs and militias, and they don't do that. Why don't they do that? Why do you only tune in when the content is about bashing black folks? That's what I would love to know. D. Parker said, everybody trying to get paid. Yeah, hey, get your goddamn money, man. Chris Passmore said, because that isn't the issue. You mean to tell me in the past week and a half, all of the mass shootings, the school shootings, the police shootings, y'all know that boy, Matt Ruth, shot 5 police officers in Pennsylvania 2 weeks ago, killed 3 of them? You mean that's not a problem? You mean the guy that took out Charlie Kirk? That you mean to tell me that with a straight face that's not a problem? That's not an issue? I want you to name one person. I want you to name by name, first and last name, one person that got shot in Chicago. Name them by first and last name. Yeah, C Black, that's what they trying to do. Listen, it's a play, bro. Why you think a week later they try and put him on a coin? All these low vibrational people fell for that shit. You dig? Yeah, y'all love to tune into y'all love us, man. Let's just keep it real. Y'all love to talk about us. Y'all love to hear what we got going on in our community. Name one gangbanger by first and last name who got killed. We can name Charlie Kirk. You dig? We can name the people that were hurt at that Mormon church. Same day, somebody, there was a mass shooting in Michigan. Oh God, 83 Gator. See, now y'all just making up names and shit. Okay, let's take it a step further. I'm fair. 83 Gator. Let's take it a step further. 83 Gator gave me a name, Kevin Watson. Now let me ask you, did Kevin Watson's death have more of an impact, or did Charlie Kirk's death have more of an impact over the separation of our country? Go. See, I gotta get out of denial, man. You need to get out of denial, and you need to really start to look at things for what they are. The people that are going to set off the goddamn war in this country are the goddamn mass shooters, these militias, these hateful people, man. They the ones that's going to pop shit off. Not Pookie and Ray Ray. They over there shooting each other. They not bothering you. You don't feel the effects from the gunshots in these cities. Y'all live in rural towns and countries. Me too. I live in rural towns and cities. Y'all just act like it's the problem. We've always been the problem. We've always been a thorn in y'all's ass. Even when we had Black Wall Street, Greenwood, Rosewood, y'all couldn't take it. The racists couldn't take it. They had to come burn the shit down. It wasn't no drilling and stepping and smackers in Black Wall Street. There wasn't no Glock switches on Black Wall Street. They had to bomb that shit. They bombed it with a real bomb. We've always been an issue for y'all. You dig? We've never committed the heinous acts of bombing buildings. Y'all see the racist militias and white supremacist extremists, they bomb buildings, dog. They kill hundreds at a time. You dig? You can never ever compare gang violence to domestic terrorism. You just can't do it. You sound silly. But it makes you feel good. I understand. Listen, it releases endorphins in your system when y'all talk about Chicago. It makes you feel better about the school shootings, Columbine, things of that nature. It makes you feel better. You know what I'm saying? I totally get it. No problem. You dig? You know, insecure people talk about other people and shine light on their problems so they can feel better about themselves. You got that? That's all. Worry about your backyard. Charlie Kirk should have worried about his backyard. What's up, brother? He wasn't worried about his backyard, and guess who took him out? Was it Top Op Black? Was it Lil Durkio? Was it a Chicago gangbanger? No. It was supposedly it was a man, a little white boy named Tyler. Okay, he should have been worried about his own backyard, man. And it should have been a lesson, but instead of people learning and saying, you know what, we got to start looking at our own shit. See, reasonable, rational people would have been like, you know what, I don't think it's the blacks, dude. I don't think they're the ones tearing up the country, dude. Like, I don't think it's them, dude. I'm having a change of heart. This is too much, dude. Y'all didn't do that. Instead, y'all doubled down on the bullshit. Right after Charlie Kirk got smoked, y'all like black on black crime. It's you. You did it. Like, come on, cuz. Like, get out of denial, man. Get out of denial. Lil Walker said, Greenwood is my neighborhood. Shout out to you, man. It's sad. It's sad, man. It's really sad. But listen, man, big shout out to everybody that stopped through. We will be back. I might come back even tomorrow or Sunday or Monday. But if y'all want to hear some other content, go check out my old videos or the videos from last week. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. You dig? Y'all have a good day.